What do you think of Roddy getting his second shot, I guess, at being on top in WCW?
Roddy, a smart man. He holding him up for some big money and doing the
Yeah.
right thing.
Yeah.
Roddy, good people, and he's a hell of a talent. And I mean, it's like I said, the right money, you're going to go do it. And Roddy, I mean, he's a heck of a talent. And, I mean, I think it's good.
Did you have a big influence on Paulie's interviews and stuff like that? Did you basically teach him how to do the interview style, and you and Austin?
Well, yeah, but Paulie, I mean, he had, like that, he had a knack for that himself. I mean, it's hard to tell a Yankee, you can't do this cornbread talking Yankee talk, so I mean, but no, Paul, he was always real good. He picked it up good. I mean, he was another one that, I mean, he's got a good mind for the business. That's why he has ECW. And, but he paid attention, he listened, and he learned. But I mean, he did, most of his interviews, he had the storyline, but he did, all of that. He was very good with that.
What was probably like one of the wildest stories, I guess, on the road that has ever happened to you in your career? Like, some pretty wild stories out there. Yeah, that's some wild stories out there. I don't know about none I can talk about. My wife might hear
them. Anything wild you can talk about?
Shoot, it's my memory ain't about that long. I don't, we just, well, I'll tell you a big thing. You talk about, how, I mean, giving tickets away to, it used to be the business was about drawing money. And I guess one of the biggest things that I ever remember, we wrestled in Charleston, West Virginia. And I had Buzz Sawyer on this night. And it was Wednesday night or something. We stayed at the Holiday Inn right next to the building. And so we had went down in the bar, they never do no business. So I went down and we was talking to them at the bar. I said, well, if I fill this bar up, can we drink for nothing? They laughed and said, yeah. So I go out to the ring for my match right before I wrestle Buzz. I said, I'm going to kick your ass, Buzz Sawyer. And as soon as it's over, we're having a party at the Holiday Inn. So it was Michael Hayes, Jimmy Garvin, myself, and I don't remember who else was with us. We pulled over that Holiday Inn, and there were people everywhere. They done had to call extra security, police, and everything. And we got out of the car, and I always seen the movie about the Beatles, how everybody chased them, And we got out of the car, and all of a sudden, here come all them people. I mean, running. We took off running, and we run down the road. We could run right into a dead end.
Yeah.
So they had us trapped. But anyway, so we got to the room and come on down to the bar, and needless to say, we got all our drinks for nothing.
Yeah, I imagine. What are your memories of the Freebirds? Because Michael Hayes was a pretty. He's been around probably just as long as you have, correct? Or
Michael Hayes, he's older than dirt.
Is he really?
He's older than I am.
Wow.
I like it. I grew up, like Big Terry. I mean, I've known, them. That guy. I go way back with them. Had a couple of run-ins with them. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
But they're a few guys that they put their time in, and Mike's up there, I guess, now with WWF doing Rock Hudson gimmick or something.
Yeah. Rock Hudson.
Rock Hudson.
Yeah, Doc Hendricks.
Oh, I love Rock Hudson.
Might as well be, right?
They have Jim Neighbors up there next one.
Hey. It's a call back later.
Can you call right back?
Later.
Later.
What do you think of
your sister?
23. But, she don't like wrestling though, so.
Well, I wouldn't go wrestling.
but no. I guess you were talking a little earlier when we were talking about your title victory over Harley Race about that it was a lot of pressure, and you said a lot of different stuff like that. I guess you could sympathize with a lot of what's going on right now. I don't know if you're aware of the whole Shawn Michaels situation. He's a guy right now who really in the newsletters and stuff, it seems like the pressure's gotten to him and he's pretty much cracked. And this guy's held the title for 2 years. What is your opinion on that and your advice to him? Coming from a guy that's been around for so long, what would your advice be to somebody like that?
Shawn who?
Shawn Michaels.
Who is he?
He's like the top guy in Titan WWF. He's our
Oh,
champion.
I'm sorry. I don't ever watch it. I thought you were talking about Shane Douglas. I'm sorry when you said Michaels. I'm sorry I didn't know. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
All right, if you don't know Shawn Michaels, let's just say anybody in general. Here's a guy who's held the world title for 2 years, and it seems like the pressures of everything involved in holding the world title has gotten him. He's pretty much cracked and has taken an indefinite amount of time off. What would your advice be to somebody like that, regardless of who he is?
Well, it's according to, what clique you're in there again. We're talking WWF and, it's hard, it's the position he's in. I mean, you got to play the game, plus you got to do your job. I mean, I have no advice for that because I've never been there and done that. I've always just been one of them to come do my job and that's it. It's hard for me. I'd say quit kissing ass and quit. Well, you got to do what you got to do. I mean, everybody, has got to do what they got to do. And he's been there a while and he's been in the clique. And, and I'm sure it's hard, but
yeah,
you just got to suck it up and go if that's what you want to do.
Yeah. Do you watch the TV shows at all? Do you keep up with what's going on? Nah.
What are your memories on Frank Bruiser Brody?
Brody, Lord, he used to come stay at my house. My kids were scared to death the first time I seen him. But he was one of the greatest guys that I ever knew in my life. He come when Jerry Blackwell was running Deep South Wrestling. He would come in. Brody'd come in and do. Jerry and him was good friends, and he'd come in and do him the favor so he could get the TV up, and he'd come out and stay at my house. I always thought he was a wild man, but he, one of the coolest people I ever met in my life.
You ever get to work with Abby at all?
Yeah, he said his first match in Georgia.
Okay.
I had many matches with Abby.
Wow.
That was one of my biggest ones. Wahoo McDaniels didn't show up at the Omni one night, and I wrestled Abby. And from that day on, when I picked his big butt up and slammed him, and people went crazy. And that was one of the things that made me there in the Georgia area because he was such a name there, and we tore the building down, Omni sold out again. It was sold out and, it was all good,
Is there anything you'd like to do before you retire, if you ever want to retire? Because usually nobody retires in this business, It always works.
It's hard. It gets in your blood,
right.
I mean, it's, even if you can't retire, you still enjoy doing it. It's, I've had fun all my life. There's nothing else no kind of job I could have done and made the money and had the fun that I've had and learned the stuff I've learned,
Cool. All right, Video, you got a question for Tommy Rich? Yeah. Okay.
Hey, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm Rob from West Warwick.
Hey, what's up? What's your question?
Hey, you've held titles everywhere, right? NWA and whatnot?
Yeah.
Hey, so what made you decide to come to ECW?
Well, I like the style, to be honest with you. I mean, it's old school wrestling. I mean, it's a good show, and I think they're going places.
Yeah, you prefer it more than WCW, though?
A lot more.
I can tell. Hey, what made you decide to wrestle the gangsters? Something going around, you got your back split open or something?
Yeah, well, I don't decide to wrestle nobody. Who they book me against, I wrestle. I don't have nothing to do. I don't pick who I wrestle.
Yeah, everybody's saying.
I mean, I don't know.
Randy Hales.
Tommy Rich.
Randy Hales just quit. Hey, let's talk about
Randy Hales quit too?
Yeah, do you have any comments on Randy Hales? What's he like?
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, when I was up there, I'll have to say Randy Hales. I mean, that's who I did my dealings with, and he's he had it because I mean, a lot of stuff we did, we sat with him. Like I said, I like to insert my stuff. And he'd take, but he's done good with it. He did real good. I'd have never thought I knew him. See, his dad was Eddie Marlin's partner. They ran Jonesboro, Arkansas together, and he just been around the business. And when I heard he was doing the boogie, at first I thought, this ain't this is silly. But he did a good job with it. He really did. And of course, I did my dealings with him, and he's a little intimidated me. So, anyway, he was always very nice to me, and I think he's done a good job.
What was the scaffold match like? What was it like working on that scaffold?
Like I said, I wasn't gonna stand up. I was scared of heights. I told them before they booked that match, I said I ain't standing up. You know, yeah, it's, yeah. I just sitting right there at barbed wire that I get thrown off that scaffold.
Yeah. Wow. You guys drew a lot of money down in USWA in that feud, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I come down. That's what I said. I come down a couple of times. I come down for him a couple of different times. Yeah. I heard he just disappeared.
Yeah, he basically was promoting a show with Buddy Landell against Buddy Rogers, Battle of the Nature Boys, and he took everybody's ticket money basically and went bankrupt.
He announced his big dream card with all these dream matches and took everybody's money and then just hauled ass out of town. Yeah. Did you ever work for Herb Abrams, UWF?
No, I never worked for Herb. I heard a lot of stories about him.
Yeah.
Never had the pleasure.
Yeah. Hey, what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name's Sammer.
Hey, what's up, Sammer? What's your question?
I'd just like to know, like, was he ever in the Japanese organization? Were you ever a champion?
Did you ever hold any titles over in Japan?
No, I had the title when I went to Japan, but I had never had the Japanese title, if that's what you're asking.
Oh, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Samir.
Yeah.
Hey, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Matt O'Hanlon.
Hey, what's up? What's your question for Tommy?
What was the greatest and favorite match?
It'd probably have to be when I beat Harley Race for the World Heavyweight title.
All right, thanks for
All right.
calling.
Okay.
Thanks. Hey, what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name's Kevin. I'm calling from New Jersey.
Hey, what's your question?
Oh yeah, I would like to know what's his feelings about the WWF and WCW war.
About their what?
The war?
Their war.
Yeah.
Between WCW and the WWF.
They're competing. He wants to know what you think about them competing.
You know, be honest, God, when y'all don't watch it, so when you say they're competing against each other, I don't know. My deal is ECW. I mean, it's like the old NWA. It's the fighting. I've wrestled for 20 years, and I don't know. I don't really have no opinion on that. I'm sorry. I don't know.
All right, and what's your feeling about WCW or ECW going to the WWF this Monday, if they go?
Well, that I have no idea. I'm not there, so I don't know nothing about it. I don't know none of the background on that, so I couldn't say nothing.
All right.
Thanks.
Take care. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm from Bensale.
Cool. What's your question?
Yeah, how much longer does Tommy Rich plan on wrestling for before he permanently retires?
That's a good question, brother. I mean, it's kind of like a football player, as long as I can do it. I mean, it gets in your blood, you want to do it. I mean, some football players, they last 10 years, some last 20 years. I don't know. I've had a good run with it up here with ECW. I like to last forever because I might start managing. You never know what I'm going to do, So, I mean, I ain't looking to retire, no time soon. I've slowed down. I go home. I spend a lot of time with my wife and babies, and I just enjoy doing what I'm doing. I just work when I want to now.
Right.
All right, man. Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye. What kind of a toll has the business taken on your body over a long period of time? Are you still feeling pretty good, or?
I always feel
As long as you got a beer in your hand, and then
yeah. Well, I don't know. I always feel good.
Yeah.
Whether I'm drinking me a beer, I've been hurt. And to me, it's if you stay on the road and you do it every day, you get in the groove.
Condition.
You get conditioned. I mean, I can take a week off and come back, and everything hurts.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just what your body gets used to, I think, and my body's used to women, and it's used to getting
throwing them out my women, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Hey, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, my name's Matt, and I'm calling from Bluebell.
Hey, what's up, Matt? What's your question for Tommy?
What does he think of Terry Funk? And one other, could he send me an autograph?
Well, we might can fix you up. You know, Terry Funk, I mean, you know, I've wrestled him, and but I have a lot of respect for him because he's one of the pioneers of the wrestling business. I mean, his dad, Dory, I mean, you know, they're guys that put wrestling on the map, saying, you know, I mean, Terry Funk can still go, too, you know, so I have a lot of respect for Terry Funk.
All right, you want to hold on and you'll give us your address?
It's 9:20.
What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello? Hello?
Philadelphia.
Hey, what's your name? Well, we've taken the calls from you, the callers. We've asked our questions, and we've had a real good time here. One of the best ever with Tommy Rich putting beers away and just bullshitting. And I, more than representing everybody here at our video, would very much like to thank Tommy Rich for taking time out of his busy schedule for coming here.
Thank y'all.
Thank you again for your
Thank
honesty.
y'all very much. Hey, and my treat is we finna go out and get whiskey bit.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.